Hey, what's up? This is DJ Thunderous. I'm happy to be here with the band Valar Morghulis. Oh, see, I screwed it up already. Can you tell me? Can you tell me your band? Can you tell me your band name, please?
Valar Morghulis.
All right. See, everybody, I was close. All right. Could you could you give us a history of the band, please?
We got together about 9 months ago. Matt and Ben and I did, and we started jamming to some old stuff and playing some different types of riffs, just trying to create something, and then thought we meshed good, so we got Joey and Ewan involved and started writing tunes and just kind of blossomed from there.
That's pretty cool. You guys have only been together for like 9 months. You guys are like really good together.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you? Want to cuddle?
Go ahead.
Huh? Oh, no, I made a joke.
Oh, well, let us hear it. It's okay.
I said we do a lot of cuddling. We spend a lot of time just holding hands.
I've heard.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you like cuddle in the garage or where?
Well, where we can, really.
Sometimes.
Our last show, we cuddled the whole time. That was awesome.
That's cool. All right. Can you all give me your names and what instrument you play, please?
I'm Matt. I just make a lot of noise with my voice.
I'm Ben. I'm the drummer.
I'm GR, the lead guitarist.
I'm Joey, the bassist.
What'd you say, Joey? Speak up, Joey.
Speak up, what? I play the bass.
All right. All right.
It's terrible.
I know you guys are, a really cool band. Can you give me each individual your personal influences?
Me, GR here. Slayer, Metallica, Testament, Death Angel. Basically, I'm the oldest guy in the group, so I grew up on all the early Bay Area thrash, Exodus, Overkill, Anthrax, all those guys.
Death
and then
Angel.
Then I started listening to Obituary and just, I was kind of more into thrash metal than death metal, so I get a lot of exposure to new death metal albums and new influences from these guys.
Who's next?
Ben, I get more into death and black metal. Trim from Emperor was a huge influence. Nick Barker from Cradle and Demu. Frederick Anderson from Marduk. And then getting to Cannibal Corpse and Pyemia and Panzer Christ, more the European death metal. Thrash, Slayer, the Bay Area like Gary. But then I try and listen to just about anything and everything. So as long as it's good, I'll go for it.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a big Celine Dion fan.
Yes, I am.
And that's not a joke. He went to Las Vegas to see Celine Dion.
I did.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that.
Weird. Yeah. No. I'm Matt. Musically, I like a lot of different stuff. I'm really into the old school Swedish death metal stuff. Entomb, Dismember. Really big, Obituary. Just kind of old first wave death metal stuff. Probably like most metal singers around my age. Of course, Phil Anselmo was the biggest influence for everybody growing up. Kind of a gateway drug for us all. Just Joey.
Yeah.
I guess Joey.
Mine was just. Hi, Joey. I guess mine's just old school death metal and thrash metal and stuff like that. Chuck Schuldiner, Slayer, some hair metal, some alternative, a little bit of everything, stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah, he wears a Europe t-shirt sometimes to practice.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
yeah.
That's when you're cuddling?
Yeah.
He uses a lot of White Rain, too.
My question is, when are we not cuddling? That's the thing.
I got the best beard in the band.
Yeah, he's got the best beard. This guy's got a beard for days. He wins.
Winner. All right. So, how did you come up with your band name?
Let me pass that to Benny GR here.
So Ben and I were talking, trying to come up with band names, and out of all of us, Ben and I are the only ones that watch Game of Thrones. And I was like, dude, that's such a cool name because it means all men must die from the show. And I said, that would be a badass name. And we kicked around a bunch of names for months. It was literally months. We were kicking around names. And one day, once we finally got the lineup solidified, Ben and I were talking. I said, dude, we just need to present this to the guys and see what they say. Nobody knew what it meant. So we sent it, and they was like, yeah, that's awesome. What's it mean? We told them, and they were like, we don't watch Game of Thrones. You guys are nerds. So that's where the name comes from.
Oh, I thought maybe you guys were all cuddling one day and, just threw it out there.
It was a noise Joey made when squeezing the door.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about the name is like, it's hard to say, and I've mispronounced it for the first 6 months of this here deal. And then we're like, in our logo, we're going, okay, we really want something that you could read. Which made no sense because you could read it, but nobody could pronounce it.
Obviously, I couldn't.
So we should have just went with the new black metal and death metal stuff. Just do a bunch of sticks on the ground. That'd been our logo. It fit right in.
They probably read it too.
But it worked.
All right. So, everyone, what got you into music specifically?
For me, since I'm the oldest, my grandfather gave me an acoustic guitar when I was like 3. And, of course, I couldn't play it. And right about when I was 12, he gave me an electric guitar, too. An old Sears, hollow body, old crap tube amp.
Yeah,
and so, I started playing guitar thinking I was going to sound like Sabbath or Motley Crue or whoever it was at the time. This was the 80s,
You sound like John Denver.
Yeah, and I was you sound like John Denver. So I worked mowing lawns for my grandpa, and I saved enough money and finally got a distortion pedal, and then it was like, oh, I'm here, So that's really what got me into it. Was I just always grew up listening to all different types of music, and was handed a guitar very early, so I started real early.
So yeah.
Well, I got into it just for my ex-wife. We had a friend. Yeah, shut up. We had a friend who was into black metal at the time, and so started hanging out with him. And then her brother, I was playing guitar, trying to play guitar at the time, and he said, "I know where there's a drum set at. If I buy it, we can learn to play. And if I'd have known what I'd be doing now, I might not have bought the damn thing." fat people playing this type of music does not mix, especially drummers. So I just started going from there and started going to shows and seeing it. I mean, if it was within 2 or 3 hour ride to see a show, we'd go see it, and then stay up all night and talk about it and go from there. Cuddle, yeah.
And for me, really, what got me into the heavy stuff was Ben. Me and Ben grew up together and started hanging out together a lot as teenagers and started playing these little garage bands and little crap projects. And so he kind of introduced me to all that stuff, and we were very, like, devil back then. It was typical teenagers want to be as fast as heavy as and it kind of started from there. But for me, really, my interest in music came from my mom. She used to sing gospel and actually recorded a couple albums. And her and a lot of my aunts and some of their cousin stuff would get together during family events and would sing and all that, and that really kind of sparked something in me. But now I play our stuff, and she's like, ugh. So, my mom's my biggest influence and my worst fan. Oh, and my wife. My wife too. She says, "I love your band, everything but what you do." So,
oh boy,
they don't like the growling vocals, but I blame it on Ben. He brought me to it.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, who's the member that's into country music as well?
Me. GR. Yeah, I grew up. Well, growing up in the 80s, and I grew up in West Virginia originally. Yeah. I'm only 45, okay? Yeah.
For only a couple months.
Yeah, for only a couple months more. But anyhow, growing up in West Virginia, you really can't play a whole lot of metal. There just wasn't a scene back then. So when I went to college, alternative grunge was coming out, so we played in a bunch of grunge bands, and I moved back, and just the only way you were ever going to get out and play, which is all I wanted to do, was you were going to have to play country and southern rock. So I did that for several years.
That's cool, though.
And to me, you can't limit yourself to so many genres. You gotta, whatever sounds good, do it. And you can take a lot of those influences from anything you're doing and playing more too.
And fun fact with that, me and Gary were both born in West Virginia. So it's like, it's part of the state law. If you're born in West Virginia, you gotta like country music and southern rock, or they kick you out.
Yeah, pretty much.
So who else?
Joey,
it's Joey's turn.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess for me, it just started with hair metal and just evolved from there, and the thrash and death and You know, I jumped on the alternative new metal bandwagon briefly, but you know, I came back to the thrashing of death. You know, Shadows Fall, and you know, some of the stuff like that I got into. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's real cool, Joey. You were talking about the metal scene, you know, while you guys were growing up and everything. What's the metal scene like now where you are?
In North Carolina, I've been here for 25 years. It's very diverse. And honestly, if I'd have known 25 years ago that it was as thriving as it is, the hell, I'd have been playing longer. I literally sat at home playing with backing tracks and stuff for 20 years, you know.
What's a typical...
Go
ahead. Nope, that's fine.
I mean, it used to be. It was a really, really big scene back in the day. I mean, it still is. You had bands like Warwolf and Apotheosis, and then Mysteriarch, of course, who's still going. You had a really big scene based in Charlotte and based in Raleigh, and then it kind of fluctuated as, you know, national trends go. But it's picking back up. There's been a lot more bands getting more into metal in North Carolina than there has really in a long time.
Yeah. Even guys, I mean, look at Wednesday 13. He's from the same county we're from right here in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And played a lot of shows with friends, and a lot of it's kind of incestuous where you got guys that play a different band. Not like that kind of incestuous, but like you have.
They were cuddling too.
You know, like Wednesday 13 started out with the Frankenstein Drag Queens, and then our friend who played bass for them started a band called 90, which then became a band called Apotheosis, and we kind of it just kind of latched on to itself back then.
That's cool. Now, have you guys played at any festivals or anything like the Carolina Rebellion or anything else that, you know?
We played a small festival with the first year this year called Carolina Uprising. It was actually kind of a last minute deal. We didn't even think we could get on, and just kind of reached out to them, and they like, yeah, you can play, and it's literally was in our backyard. So we played that, but we're hoping to get into some more festivals here.
That's cool.
We're playing Mason Metal Fest in Charleston on March 21st, Charleston, South Carolina.
Have you heard of the Mason Metal Fest?
No, I have not.
Mason Metal Fest is going to be a basically international day of metal to support Cerebral Palsy, and it's started by Richard McDeed in Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
That's really cool.
He has a son that has cerebral palsy, and when the son was young, metal music kind of helped calm down his son, and they found a bond over it. And Richard was a metal fan, so then he just started doing this thing, and we're doing it as an awareness day, and it's really for a good cause. The bands aren't getting paid for it. We're all doing it because we love it and trying to help people, and it's a real good cause.
That's really, really cool. We'll have to get more information about that and post it on our website as well. That's really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, let's see. What's a typical practice like for you guys when you're practicing?
Well, Joey's usually late.
Joey.
Well, the bass player's always late.
But he's got the longest drive. He lives almost an hour away. Yeah. He lives in like a cave in the woods, and he has to drive a long way away.
Yeah, the FBI's not coming to look for you.
It's pretty good. I mean, we usually get together. Ben and I both have really busy careers, so we usually get together on Saturday like today, and we practice for 3 or 4 hours and run through our songs that we know, run through the set, and then
either really cold or really hot.
Then we start, writing new stuff. We're actually working on 3 new ones total.
Yeah.
That have gone on the EP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll just jam on covers, kind of see what type of influences strike,
Yep.
It was like once we got the first song written, we were kind of off and running because then we had a pattern. We'd practice what we wrote, then we'd write. Practice what we wrote and write. And before you know it, we just go in and hammer the set list and then start writing again. And we kind of pick off each week where we left off on writing different songs. Yeah.
And then we take a lot of breaks because the drummer's fat, and they make me run like a mile a minute.
Yeah.
A couple people in a band have to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah,
a couple people have to smoke. So,
And then you gotta cuddle.
I drink a lot of beer, so I usually got to pee.
We got to cuddle.
We got to cuddle.
Especially when it's hot and it's sweaty.
We got to get Joey warmed up even when it's 95-degree weather outside.
Oh boy.
It's it's really funny because like middle of the week or something, I'll be working or driving or doing what I do, and a riff comes to mind or something comes to mind. So you run home and you get it, you record it, you do something, you start sending it to the guy. So it kind of blossoms very organically.
Yeah, we work extremely well together. It's been a blast.
That's cool. Now, I know you had your new EP that's released. What did you guys have to go through to get that released, and what was your process for it?
It was, honestly, it was probably the simplest recording effort that I've ever been through. And I've been playing for a long time with a lot of different bands and a lot of different genres. And we went in and done a couple songs in one take. And, it was really, really effortless. And then once we got done, it being in this new era, coming from the day of working with 4 tracks and tape decks and all that other stuff, technology has changed so much the way you approach it. Yeah, and Ben and I are like the James and Lars, so we bounce the stuff back at each other, and so we finally had to decide on a distributor. And Joey brought that from his experience in another band, so we got a distributor through CD Baby and did everything very, DIY.
Yeah.
That's really cool. For only 9 months of you guys being together, you guys had this. It seems like you guys planned this all out. It all came together good.
And a big shout out too to Michael Clevenger from Audio Helm Studios. He's got a little home studio down in Charlotte. We're about 30 miles north of Charlotte, so we rode down there and recorded with him. Man, awesome dude. Worked with us very quickly. I mean, we cranked that thing out in like 7 hours. Yep. Most of it was one take.
Yeah, he plays the music, so he kind of knows the style, knows the sound. So he's very easy to work with. So that made it a lot easier too. Yeah. Instead of going in and being super nervous on everything, he kind of calmed us down and gave us that good environment. We sound like we're hot shot saying, "Oh, we did it in one take," and it wasn't really that. It was just the logistics of it, and the comfort level. So
and the mix he provided for us to be able to hear each other, it was perfect.
Yeah.
All right, let's give them a taste of your music. Here's Immoral Infestation. Crank it up.
Awesome. Right. Do it. Love it.
Time to fucking die.
That was Immoral Infestation. Gwen, please let us know in chat what you think, or, send us a message, shout, give the band a message, let them know what you're thinking about their tunes. I know they're excellent. We told you this the other day when we aired your tunes. Amazing.
Thank you.
We appreciate it big time.
We
appreciate your support and everything you guys are doing for metal. And making it not a dying breed anymore.
Get the word out there.
We're glad to do it, and you guys are a really good band.
I wrote the lyrics for that one, and I just made a bunch of words. Now, it actually we were writing it was the day of the Dayton mass shooting.
Yep.
And I was just reading that stuff on my phone, and I just thought, we just had this new riff and we were going through it. I was like, what is it like for the mindset of someone that wakes up in the morning and they go, that's what I'm going to do today.
I'm going to kill somebody.
That's just, it's almost like you have to put yourself in that weird position to think about it because it's so outlandish, but it's just what hit me that day. And it hit, and the riff and everything, it hit hard. So that's kind of where it came from.
Now, is it kind of difficult to write music when you have 5 people in a band?
Surprisingly not. Surprisingly not. We all work well together, and we're pretty honest. If we come up with a riff and somebody says that part sucks, we just say that sucks.
everybody checks their egos at the door.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like it's kind of motivation, I guess, or whatever. If it ain't right, make it right.
Exactly.
Work with it until you can make it sound good.
We all want the best sound to the band. We ain't so much about putting our personal input and fingerprints on something. It's about what can we do together to make the best collective we can.
And me playing as long as I have, I've got years and years and years and years of riffs either saved digitally or in my head. So I'm just, throw something out there and see what bites. Yeah.
How many years have you played for?
Since I was 12, so I'm 45. So
we played guitar at Moses' birthday.
Yeah.
We played a killer riff when they parted the Red Sea. It was awesome.
It's funny. Like I said, I moved to North Carolina in '94, and I played in the bass in a band in Nashville. That's another thing I was going to say is the scene in North Carolina is very diverse and very widespread. The state's a big state, but North Carolina, and you got Charlotte, Raleigh, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Asheville's a huge scene. Greenville, South Carolina, just across the border. Wilmington, North Carolina's a big, huge black metal, death metal scene. It's just blossoming. It's very cool to see.
Each diverse, but everybody has respect for each other. Everybody gets along, and nobody's ever really trashing anybody. We all just pay our respect.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We're actually playing a show this Friday coming up. With the first time we actually play with other, mainly death metal influenced bands. We played with alternative bands, punk bands,
New metal.
We played the festival with a country band up before us.
Yeah.
Nice.
But we all just, at the end of the set, we're all doing the same thing, so we all just respect each other for what we're doing.
It's just have a good time.
Yeah, it's very different compared to the way it was when I was playing in the late 80s, early 90s, It's pretty cutthroat back then.
That's cool. I noticed you guys have played a lot, last year. Or not last year. Well, yeah, last year. And what are some of the venues that you've played at? And what's it like to be live when you're on stage?
I'm the best. I love playing live. I've done it so many times, hundreds of shows over my years, and so
again, he's old.
Yeah, I'm old.
And see, playing with this band was the first time I'd ever played live, and the other band I'm in, the guys work nights, and so it was kind of one of those things. We don't really worry about playing live, and So when I first got to play live, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I could dig it. And as it's gone, it's gotten a lot better. We played Coyote Uglies in Salisbury. We played
Milestone in Charlotte.
Yep.
Ground Zero in Spartanburg.
Wayne County Fairgrounds.
Yeah, I mean, Ground Zero for me was probably, Ground Zero for me was probably the best because, I mean, back in the day, Slayer played there, Slipknot played there. Milestone, Nirvana played there.
Me and Ben used to go there in our late teens, early 20s to go watch shows, so it was really cool to see it.
Big Nile and Hate Eternal and Arch Enemy.
Yeah, to be on the other side of the lights and stuff. Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah,
that's
it's kind of, it's nostalgic to share the stage with some bands that you grew up loving that have played there too. It's just pretty awesome.
What's the best band you've ever played with?
Like jammed with? Like
played a show with?
Live shows.
There's so many of them. You can't really pick.
Whitney Gray's pretty damn tight.
Yeah.
Gray's good.
Strike the Tower was good.
Strike the Tower's good. October. We play with a lot of good bands. A couple of them been around for a while. A couple of them are as new as we are. From varying ages. Guitar player for October's older than I am. It's just it's very cool to see organic music popping out like this, and there are a lot of killer bands. We've actually, I'll throw a little plug in here. We actually posted a playlist of local metal bands on our Spotify page today, and it's got 40 different bands on it. One song from 40 bands from all around North Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, and it's really cool. West Virginia, it's really cool to see how many talented freaking bands are out there, and
there's a lot of competition.
It is. It's a lot of competition, but it's good.
We ain't really out there to compete. We're just out to play music after the time. That's all that really matters.
And it's like Joey said, we hear what the guys in Red and Gray are doing. Divine Treachery, a lot of the other local bands, what they're doing. And so we come back and we're like, damn, man, they're tight. We need to step it. We need to up our game. So it's it's a very artistic environment.
I mean, we can learn from other bands and stuff, and maybe other bands can pick up something from us. I mean, it's just making our place in the world, I guess.
That's cool. Now, do you think digital is killing the record sales and merchandise sales for bands? From what you've seen,
it's definitely killing record sales. It's definitely killing record sales. But I even read an interview. I love Slipknot. I even so I read a big interview. I'm a huge fan of Corey Taylor, even his acoustic stuff. He's just a really phenomenal music artist, well-rounded guy, and he even said it. He said, merch is the only way, and touring is the way you make money nowadays. It's definitely not from album sales. Streams don't pay that much. Downloads don't pay that much. But hey, it is what it is. If you try in this day, what woke me up, thankfully for you, and I'll plug him being the youngest member of our band. He's 21. If you don't embrace this new technology and use it, you're going to be left.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
crazy though.
And it depends. I mean, like for us, we don't swim in the same pool as Slipknot, so for us it helps because it markets us just like your radio show and the stuff we put them online, and then when we're at our live shows, that's when we sell our actual EP and our merch. So it helps us. But again, we're old. We're not old, but we're guys that have regular lives and families and 9-to-5ers. So for us, it's not about the money, But we try to make it a self-sustaining thing where we could pay. Yeah, like we could pay for our recording from our live shows or something. That kind of thing where we don't have to sign with some cheesy, goofy label that's going to make you play shows you don't want to play and stuff
or take your money and tell you, here, you're going to get a little bit, here you go.
That paid-to-play type stuff.
That's the one thing that I think that's killing the local scenes right now is promoters trying to get you to pay to play, sell X amount of tickets if you're not playing. That's bullshit.
Right.
Yeah. We can name some names we're not going to right now.
No, there's like a lot of places not near us, but down in like New York City. In order to play down there, you have to buy these tickets, and then you got to sell them at the door or wherever, and then you get paid nothing because you got to pay for the bar.
Yeah, and then you're lucky if you get them sold. If you don't get them sold, then you're just on your ass.
Then you're on the hook for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. Couple of great
No, go
places
ahead.
you could play out there that you would want to pay to play because it's like a great place to play. And
Yep.
there's like a lot of labels that go there and PRs and things like that. And that's well worth it. But down the road,
Right.
you're like, what the heck? I just spent all this money and yeah, I have a new fan base, but we got to make more music now.
Yeah, growing up where I did, I was able to go to Bogarts in Cincinnati quite a bit. Seen a lot of damn good bands there. I seen Lynch Mob, George Lance Doc. I seen a bunch of really cool bands there. Yeah, hair metal was badass. I don't give a shit. There's still some very talented. The best guitar players came from hair metal. Sorry, they did.
Don't copyright us with that statement.
Yeah. But Gary's views are not inclusive of all members of the band.
Yeah, put a disclaimer because I would put it. Yeah.
But the reality is, those types of places that have so much history and that much nostalgia and that much draw, yeah, it'd be worth it to pay to play somewhere like that. Here, we're lucky enough to have a couple local venues that really treat the bands with some respect, and you come in, you get discounted beer or free beer, you get a take at the door. I mean, that's the way it should be.
Right. And it's changed so much, and it's crazy.
It is. I was telling these guys when we first started, when I played the country southern rock covers, this was the early 90s, 93.
I was in 5th grade.
Yeah. Asshole. We'd make $500 a weekend, playing covers.
Nice.
It's crazy. Or $500 a night sometimes.
You can still find that playing covers, but covers aren't as fun.
It blows my mind why somebody wants to pay me to play someone else's freaking music instead of hearing your own. That's stupid.
I went and saw an Eagles cover band this summer. They were good.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break here, and actually we're going to crank up another track from your EP. Here's Bipolar. Crank it up.
Yeah.
To relieve that pain, which will be better for me, but not so enjoyable for all of you.
Oh
That was bipolar. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Now, who wrote that song, and how did that song evolve?
It was more of a collaborative effort, and it was just one of those things. We heard Joey, the bass player, when we were playing it. We were like, "Man, that would sound badass if Joey just started the beginning of it."
That was my idea.
And so, that was Matt's idea. Of course, being the vocalist, he has to take care. Yeah,
I'll take any credit I can.
But it's actually, when we originally wrote it, the beginning was a lot slower. And then one day in practice, we were playing it, and I sped the beat up to it, and then Joey started getting into it a lot more. So I'm like, okay, yeah, we got to keep that. And the other guys did too. So it was just kind of one. Gary come in with the riff, a lot of the riffs for the songs, started playing it, and then when we sped it up and put it all together, we were like, wow, that song is really fucking weird.
That was actually one of the first songs we really put together.
Yeah.
That's actually why it's called bipolar, because we went from slow to all of a sudden just fast out of nowhere back to slow. And so we were like, man, that song's bipolar as hell. That's what we're going to call it.
I think Joey coined that. Joey. I was actually on a camping trip with my family. They sent me.
That's right.
They sent me a YouTube clip of it, and like, they would call this bipolar. So it already had his name.
Yeah.
And so I just thought about mental health and stuff. So I wrote it. Lyrically, I wrote about a couple friends I know have committed suicide. So it kind of, everything just came together, man. The Metal God Smile on that song.
Yeah.
It was
definitely.
And
I can remember right when we got done, the first time we jammed it, Joey said, that song is bipolar as hell. And so it's done. Yeah.
Yeah. Blame that one on me.
don't blame, take credit.
Is Joey still alive here? You all right, Joey?
Yeah, Joey's here, Joey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just checking in,
Present.
making sure that everybody's good.
Check his pulse.
We always ask Joey a lot, are you okay?
I kind of feel like I've met you before. This is crazy.
Maybe you have.
Maybe not.
Small world.
He's our ninja.
Ninja Joey. There you go.
He's our
There we go. Yeah.
He's our spirit animal.
The spirit cuddler.
Oh my God! I want that on a poster.
And see, for me, it's kind of like we were talking when we started this. You know, my only hope is I just like to play. I hope that you, and being as young as he is, I can pass a little bit of stuff on to him, and he can carry the damn torch. You know, I don't know how much longer I can do it.
Yeah, Ewan's the only guy in the band that really has hair.
Yeah.
Everybody always says he has the most prettiest hair.
Yeah,
That's right.
He's got the most energy too.
Yeah.
He's not here to
kids
defend
are
himself.
No,
No, we're giving him props right
Yeah,
now.
we're giving him props.
This is nothing we don't say to his face.
He's the
He's awesome.
he is
He's real mature for his age.
when he auditioned, he came in and started playing South of Heaven. South of Heaven by Slayer. And I said, dude, this kid's dad, whoever he is, has raised this child right. So we started jamming it, and I was like, he's hired. He's in. I don't care. You know?
And then
Freezing Moon from Mayhem.
He'll come in and start jamming out the Freezing Moon from Mayhem, and he'll turn around and give me this look like, come on, Ben,
Yeah.
let's do this.
You
And
know
I'm
what
like,
it is.
oh, God.
Yeah.
So we'll start cranking out Freezing Moon while everybody else is standing there going, all right, guys, we got to practice. Come on now.
And honestly, with Ewan is our conduit to the younger crowd and the local scene. He's very involved because he's at that age where he goes every weekend. He's not tied down, so he's always at shows. And yeah, we call him Ewan's groupies. He has all these little long-haired guys that just got out of high school. Yep. They come to every show. Yep. They fight over the set list. Who gets the set list when we get done playing? Yep. They headbang to everything. So he's provided a real spark of energy that we really need, especially when we play live.
Yeah. Well, if you think about the range of fans, you got Ewan and his crowd, and you got Dale in his 50s. There's one guy that's always in the crowd in his 50s. It's just digs the music.
We do well with the 50-year-old guys with beards. We really do well with that market.
That's crazy.
See, that's awesome. Then you guys, you don't feel old.
No, nobody said that.
Ask me after a show.
Ask me after a story. Yeah. No, I mean that was Ben.
Yeah, I'm only 37, but like I said, when I first started playing, I got into the really extreme death and black metal, where it was 300 BPMs, and the drummers were beanpole thin. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And then 2 seconds into the song, I'm like, damn it, I'm tired. Stop.
Last beat back in the day.
That's all we did when I first started playing. Was everything's got to be a blast beat. And we got to go super fast. And so, yeah, I learned real quick. As you get older, your body doesn't respond as well as it used to.
I think all of us musically have gotten something from each other.
Yeah.
Where, it kind of fits. It just. You sit down and you start writing, and you're toying with riffs, and you're toying with tempos, and you're toying with lyrics. Everything just kind of falls into place sometimes.
Yeah, we never try to put a square peg in a round hole. No. We just do what kind of happens. Say the hell with it. We're not going to say, oh, this is death metal, or this is thrash, and this is black. It just, what we do is what we do.
Yeah.
Well, whatever you guys do, it's pretty awesome, whatever you call it.
Thank you. You can name it because we don't know.
We don't know. It's funny. I always ask the guys, what subgenre is this? Because I don't know. I don't know metalcore. I don't know deathcore. I don't know grindcore. I don't know what that means. To me, if I like it and if it's metal, it's just all metal. So
feel it.
Yeah. So you can call it cozy music.
There we go.
Cuddling
metal.
Cuddle metal.
We're here to wrap a blanket around you and make you feel secure.
Or not. Maybe order a pizza and watch a movie.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to check out your last track here. Here's Bereft of Light. Crank it up. That was Breath of Light. Again, tell us about that track, please.
I wrote this one, lyrics and all, and this was about a chick that I dated in about 1993 that just tore my heart out.
I was in 5th grade.
Fifth grade, elementary school.
92, 93, college, young and in love, and you get your heart broken. So
Yeah.
I had hair then. That's right. I had hair.
Always back
And
to the hair.
vocally, it's my favorite one to sing, and I didn't do any of the lyrics, but I just love fucking singing it. It's
fun to play. It's our most advanced progressive song.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of harmonies in it.
I wish, it's bad.
Yeah,
It's where all the new writing's kind of going.
Yeah.
So, Matt, you're the vocalist, right? Yes, correct.
Yes.
Where did you learn how to sing and,
Ooh, that's a good one.
Well, when I met Ben,
It's me again.
I first heard death metal in the mid-'90s, and like most kids my age at the time, went, oh God, what the fuck is that? But I'd always been a big fan of melody and singing, a big fan, like I said, when my mom would sing and my aunts, and I just got it whenever me and Ben really started hanging out in our late teens, and I really got into the harder style vocal. I just made it a nauseating repetition to try to figure out how they did it. And at first it was terrible, and you guys Ben, oh my God, like if we had some of those old 4-tracks we used to record back in the day, oh, brutal. But over time I learned not to just try to be the most harshest person in the world, just try to be myself and kind of what came out, and I kind of just live with it. Whatever it is, and I own it and just kind of dig it.
That's really cool. You do a great job.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. So what lies in the future for your band, do you think, from here? I know it's a new baby to you. It's 9 months old. But where do you think it's going to be in the future?
We're hoping, because we're still writing, we got, like I said, 3 other ones we're writing. We're hoping probably within the next 12 months to maybe record a full album.
Yeah.
And just keep playing shows and see where this journey leads us.
Just keep having fun.
Yeah.
Make the best of it.
Yeah.
Now, are you all like tour worthy where you could tour around, or?
Well, it depends. And financially, no. Like if like Morbid ain't not Morbid. God, Obituary or somebody's like, let's go on tour. We're like, oh, wait a minute.
We'd have to pull some strings like that.
Yeah, but we could do like local weekends. We could do weekends within the Southeast.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And we got plans with some bands that are friends of ours, like Broken Trinity out of Atlanta, to go play out there. We've been playing in South Carolina a little bit. We've been invited to play up in Virginia and even West Virginia. So we're starting to branch out a little bit. But again, we know with metal, you're not going to be a millionaire. and it's not going to really be a career. But we'd like the best we could get with the band and have some kind of legacy. Like you said, for Ewan to go on, maybe one day Ewan could be a career guy, that kind of thing.
That's really cool.
For us, I mean, you could probably do a couple weeks. If we planned it out, that would be about it.
And, I mean, it gets into the whole thing. Gary and I have been in our jobs, 20 some odd years? I know you have. I've been 16 years in my job, so it's where you're at that point. It's like, you start thinking about retirement, which sounds, when we were 20, we were like, what the hell's retirement?
Yeah,
we want to play music, and now it's like, oh man, I'm going to die soon. I need to retire, and all that. So it's balancing, responsibilities with family and everything of that nature. We're not opposed to going out at all if it's feasible, if it benefits us. And that sounds like a horrible thing to say, but ultimately anything that you do in this life has to benefit you as well. So
that's
true. We're open to anything and everything. We're open to anything and everything to do anything. We love playing, and really a lot of it's got to do. We love hanging out with each other. I mean, there's been some shows where it's just been us playing for pretty much us and the other bands, and you get on stage and you start cracking jokes or cracking farts or something along those lines, and you just have a good time. So that's all we're really looking forward to, besides recording the full album, hopefully within the next year.
Yeah, honestly, God, we didn't think we would be dropping 9 months from the time we got together an EP, so we're just kind of like, fuck it now, we're going to do what we got to do.
It really started snowballed from the first song just to where it's gone, to where we start to get a lot of positive stuff from the local scene, and we're playing with bands that have been going for 20 years. It's like, whoa,
surreal sometimes. Honestly.
Yeah, and we're playing right there with them, and we're holding our own.
Yeah,
that's cool. All right, where can everyone purchase your merchandise and check you out and your dates and everything, and see what's going on?
We have Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Google Play, pretty much any streaming service, even Napster.
Yeah, we're on Napster. That's weird.
Don't tell me.
It's completely legal.
Yeah. Pretty much any streaming service we're out on now, and Reverb Nation has a lot of concert dates. We're going to tag those to our Spotify page and to our iTunes page as well. We're going to be busy as hell this month. We got a couple shows lined up this month. We got a couple shows. We got a couple big venues we're going to play in April. So we're pretty busy.
We're actually playing it before the Epicenter Festival comes with Metallica. We're playing in Charlotte.
Yeah, we're going to have a kickoff party with a bunch of local bands, kind of bring in the Epicenter Fest. Metallica's coming to town, so welcome Metallica.
Welcome to our neck of the woods. And it's a historical venue, little place in town that Nirvana's played at. Everybody and anybody's played there.
That's
cool. Called the Milestone in Charlotte. And it's a great
venue,
great hole in the wall kind of venue. It's a good place.
A lot of history.
That's great. Now, do you guys have anyone you want to shout out or say hello to out there?
Go ahead.
Steve Morton, great friend of ours who plays with Joey in another project they have called Sacred Visions. That stuff's getting up and rolling. It's been rolling. They got an album out, and they're trying to retool some band members. Strike the Tower, October.
Written in Gray. Divine Trinity, Mysteriar.
Broken Trinity out of Atlanta. I mean, just good guys.
Yeah.
Coyote Ugly here in Salisbury. It's a little kind of hole in the wall, but very supportive of the scene and the bands, and it's great atmosphere.
Yes, shout out to those guys in Sonic Armada and Murder Band down in Georgia. They've been real supportive of us. We played together on a Sunday in Ground Zero back in October, and it was Broken Trinity. It was a really cool show.
Yeah. Saprogen out of Charleston, West Virginia.
Yep.
Just good friends we made just through the music, and guys that just like us, just chugging along when the best we can.
Give a shout out to War out of Raleigh. They're a badass band you guys should check out. Blackwater Drowning out of Charlotte, another badass band you need to check out.
We're going to have to send them our way so we can get them aired. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Oh, we definitely will.
Definitely will.
These are really good bands.
Really talented band.
And I mean, it's just ultimately a big thank you to everybody listening and everybody that takes a chance to come out to a show, because a lot of people don't go out to shows much anymore.
Yeah.
And for those that are still willing to spend their money on metal, especially nowadays with the market blown up with mainstream music, a big shout out, thank you to you guys. I mean, and that's what makes playing fun, is seeing everybody banging their heads and just cutting up and having a good time afterwards, laughing. So,
And two real big supporters of ours is Paul Laughlin from Laughlin Media. He does a lot of video and audio stuff for free at our shows and a lot of the other band shows. And Dale Gilmore, who's just the local metalhead guy that goes to every show and bigs up every band. Just, they buy all the merch. They're just true fans and supporters, and they're the true heroes. Without those guys, man, we'd be playing just in our garage by ourselves.
That's cool. You guys are great. Well, I want to say thank you for joining us today, and could you do a radio shout out for us?
I'm Matt.
I'm Joey.
I'm GR.
I'm Ben.
We are Valar Morghulis. You're tuned in to the Thunderhead show on MetalDevastationRadio.com, where metal reigns supreme.